Welcome to the MSDW podcast. I'm Jason Gumpert, editor at MS Dynamics World. On this episode, I welcome two members of the PayTrace team for an update on the product lineup and community plans. Lead solutions engineer Carlton Ortega and VP of product Jeremy Boogaart join me to discuss the latest enhancements to Trace AR for Business Central. We talk feature updates, the team's collaboration with early adopter customers of Trace AR, and a bit about the product roadmap. And the PayTrace team will be at upcoming events. They tell us more about where they'll be and what you can expect to learn from them. All right, I am here with Jeremy and Carlton from PayTrace. Welcome to you both. Could we maybe start with some introductions? Carlton, I'm going to go to you first. Welcome.
Thanks for having me today. My name's Carlton Ortega. I am the lead solutions engineer here at PayTrace.
Great, welcome. And Jeremy, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. I'm Jeremy Boogaart. I am the product leader here at PayTrace.
All right. Well, great to have you back. I'm really looking forward to learning a little more about what's new and interesting at PayTrace and with your solutions today. I thought we could kick off the discussion by, talking about some of your recent enhancements to Trace AR for Business Central. Jeremy, can you fill us in first?
Yeah, absolutely. If you know us at all and kind of have followed our journey in Business Central, you know that we released kind of at Directions last year. And since then, we just pushed a new update with a lot of great features to it. So kind of go through a couple of those here because I think they're fairly noteworthy. First one, we have added Trace ACH to the product. So that is our in-house ACH solution. So where before we were obviously taking credit cards at various places in Business Central, you can now also use our in-house ACH product. So if you want to have your customers pay by bank, that is now a possibility as well. So Trace ACH is kind of all our in-house solution. We go through underwriting and then can get you boarded onto that and get that set up into your Business Central setup, Trace AR or for Business Central. We also added two new great features into the product itself. So we have our AR aging report, which is, I would say, really like mini collections. So this really allows you to see all of your outstanding invoices, your things paid on terms, summarized by customer, various other things that you can do in there. You can resend those invoices to customers. You can pay the invoices. You can take notes and collaborate with your teammates. Really just a great collections tool for a team to collaborate on getting those invoices paid. Really a large step. You'll see more from us there as we move along as well. But the first release of that is out. The next one is our bank reconciliation report. So we can grab the payment batches, the settlement batches, and compare those to your bank deposits. Lots of great tools there for overages, underages, kind of everything that you need there to handle your bank reconciliation, automation there to make that process easier. Always a top pain point for teams. And the last one is integration to our Trace AR portal. So that is the ability to have invoices from Business Central show up in a portal that you can have your customers log into. They can see all their open invoices. They can pay there, via credit card, via ACH. Lots of different setups, and we could do a full demo on that one alone. But the nice part there is beyond just being able to do payment links, you can have a full portal for your customers to log into, and it sets up, quite literally in minutes. There's a lot of configuration. You can go a lot deeper than that. But now we can connect your Business Central instance to a portal, not dependent on any of setups in Business Central, and then being able to have your invoices out there for your customers to log in and pay.
All right, excellent. So I'm hearing a lot of different capabilities with a lot of perhaps aiming to meet a lot of different goals. Carlton, let me turn to you. Can you talk about how early adopters are seeing some of the enhancements that are coming to Trace AR?
Yeah, absolutely. So for our early adopters, I think the key thing for us was to really understand and recognize that every merchant is different, right? Along with the way that they're using Business Central. So what we did is we put emphasis in being able to be agile during that implementation phase and ultimately identify what features they may be expecting during the solutioning and discovery, but of course, delivering that by the time that they are in production. So as we, discuss and approach these early adopters, that's really the key takeaway is if we're not able to accommodate something, what are we doing towards that and how are we able to accommodate that?
And Carlton, what's the experience of companies working with PayTrace to deploy Trace AR?
Yeah, so the approach that we have here is really to follow our 6 to 8 week project plan, right? We want to be sure that when we discuss and when we talk with our early adopters, we can help them visualize the experience. We go through this project plan where we go through the solutioning, followed by the sandbox implementation, into the production implementation, and of course, the post go live maintenance, making sure everything's good and really understanding that everything is fine once they start processing and using our application. But of course, throughout this 6 to 8 week project plan, we constantly have those weekly cadences with them. And of course, ad hoc if any issues arise. So we work very closely to them. We essentially recognize ourselves as an extension of their team. They have direct access to us if anything goes wrong. They as well have direct access to us to express any enhancements they're looking for or any features they might be missing, but their long-term roadmap, they'd love it. We essentially are just that end all be all for them as they go through the implementation experience with us.
All right, excellent. Yeah, Jeremy, anything you'd like to add there in terms of some of the feedback you're getting from clients as they've been working with the previous releases of the solution or as they're taking on the new capabilities that are coming up?
One of the main things to bring up, Carlton brought up there is kind of the agile nature of it. So, we've been working great, with partners, with the customers to really identify kind of any of those gaps that they have and make sure that those are covered. And we have PayTrace in general is known for our 5-star support, and that really doesn't stop at the implementation process. So we work really closely, Carlton, with our product managers, implementation team, development support team, to make sure that we are kind of getting things configured, set up, whether it's I'll talk about more here on the roadmap, integrations with, their e-commerce platforms or individual workflows that they have, making sure that we get those tailored in and that the customers are kind of seeing the full benefit of automation of their payments. So it's been great so far. We've had great feedback from customers, from, just working with us and what it's like to work with PayTrace and be a PayTrace customer.
All right, excellent. Yeah, I mean, one other angle on this I can think of is certainly how, your Business Central partners sort of prepare for some of these enhancements. Can you talk, I guess I could put this to either of you, can you talk a little bit more about how this will be brought to customers, perhaps with the help of your partners?
Yeah, I can cover a little bit of that. I mean, like any other Business Central add-on from AppSource, you'll have to install the updates to get the new stuff. But from there, it's really, we do trainings on a pretty constant basis with our partners about new features. Sam does a lot of trainings for our resellers to keep people up to speed, but we certainly are prepared for them on our side as well. So when people call in and need help getting things, loaded, installed, we work with the partners to make sure that we get that and get the new items configured. Although to be fair, there's pretty minimal configuration for a lot of these. It's a little bit more kind of going through the documentation and, making sure that you're, where to click and what to do on the different screens. We try to keep setup pretty low in general, right? We want to make sure that it's pretty easy to get off the ground and running with most of these things.
Jeremy, you mentioned the roadmap. Was there anything else in the roadmap that you can give us a glimpse into?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we spent a lot of time in this last release kind of working even more on sort of those automation areas, right? So when you look at, the Trace AR or the AR aging report, it's really about maximizing teamwork and speed through the collections process. When you look at the reconciliations, it's about saving time for those teams and automating those processes. We're doing a lot more of that throughout. So we have some things coming down the road that are more around automating of not collecting. So things about blocking, things about, credit limits, other areas that you can put in automation that allow you to, stop payment or stop invoices from progressing when customers get to certain points. So we have some areas there. There are some new areas in recurring sales. So we're putting in a support for our kind of recurring invoicing. Recurring in the credit card world has its own special handling. And so getting that connected to Business Central and Business Central's new, kind of recurring sales module itself. So we've got some work coming in there as well as some areas in batch processing. So being able to do a little bit more batch processing as opposed to one-off processing. Again, just tying back to that efficiency, trying to minimize clicks for teams and make sure that we're making people kind of as efficient as possible. Rounding out, we've also have coming down the pike a little bit to additional integrations for our API. So being able to integrate with shopping carts, with custom shopping cart integrations, adding a little bit more there to hooks to, just make sure that we are processing seamlessly with all the other players in the environment. Beyond that, we have some new areas for just historical viewing of transactions and being able to kind of see a better picture of everything coming through. But it really is a lot more of kind of rounding out the solution, of just kind of adding more areas of visibility. And, number one for us is always automation. What can we do to make sure that, we are processing as fast as possible and making sure that people are actually less aware of credit card processing, less aware of payments happening, and just having it flow as a natural part of the process. So continuing to push on that envelope as well.
Well, I know that PayTrace has a presence planned at some of the upcoming Dynamics events this spring. Can either of you tell me a little more about what you have planned?
The first one is definitely Directions. So Bennett Directions kind of launched last year. We will be there again. We'll be there in Vegas. We are a gold sponsor. So please, if you're going to be at Directions, come visit us, see what's new, because there is a lot that's new, a lot that we just released, a lot that's on the horizon. And we are always open, willing, love to hear feedback from partners. So if you're at Directions in the beginning of April in Vegas, we'd love to see you there. After that, I believe, is DynamicsCon Live in Chicago. We are sponsoring and attending there. I will actually be at that show, so I'd love to talk to everyone. Unfortunately, I will miss Directions. So while please stop by and see the team, I will be at DynamicsCon Live, so happy to see everyone there. And again, love to see the customer and partner feedback at DynamicsCon Live. So I think those are the two that we have coming up here in the near term, but we'll have a full team there, full presence from kind of all across product, sales, everything else. So come by, stop, talk to us. Love to hear from you.
Well, Carlton, Jeremy, thank you both so much for the update. I look forward to learning more about the latest release and seeing you or other PayTrace team members out in the world this season.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jason.
This has been another episode of the MCW podcast. My thanks once again to Carlton and to Jeremy. And this message from PayTrace, if you're interested in hearing more about what's new with Trace AR for Business Central and how it can help your team, contact sales@paytrace.com or stop by one of PayTrace's two booths at Directions North America, premier sponsor Exhibit Booth 115 and Exhibit Booth 224. And that's it for this episode. If you want to get in touch with me, you can send me an email, jason@msdynamicsworld.com. For all of our updates, please do follow us on LinkedIn. Until next time, this is MS Dynamics World, signing off.